Is this the proper light? It's gonna be good enough. Okay, so let me share this to Facebook because this is gonna be the post for all of y'all. Because I was gonna share it directly to YouTube. I'm gonna talk about a lot of stuff in this video. A lot of stuff. I've been trying to hold this live, and a lot of stuff. I've been trying to hold this live, and a lot of stuff. I've been trying to hold this live. Wait, hold on. Yeah, I've been trying to hold this live, but a girl can't hold it any longer. She got a lot going on. I'm so glad that I'm just not following and stuff. I really honestly have kind of like been putting my biological needs as far as taking my my estrogen and my testosterone. I haven't been taking it as I should because I've had a house guest. I've been doing a residency for a little over a month now, and so I understand that when we take our hormones and stuff like that, we could be in our feelings, honey, and the situation could just be real extra. And so I kind of like paused my um my hormones for now because I don't want to allow the natural occurrences that happen when we take those hormones. How we get mood swings, and then when you start coupling testosterone in with it, testosterone has a tendency to make me hypersexual and extremely aggressive. And so I'm supposed to be taking a little bit of testosterone, but I just haven't been taking it now because I just honestly don't feel like it's the best time to take it. Oh, okay. Hide. Mm. Maybe I should turn off the comments. Report. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So y'all give me a second. I'm sure then we're gonna dive in to the discussion topic. Just give me a second. Because baby, when I tell you I got some tea spilled on here. This is about to be a tea spilling video. We about to get into some tea, okay? Um, like it's a lot of things that I want to talk about, and it's really not about who watches the video. It's just about getting some things off my chest. So there's been a lot of highs and lows. There's been a lot of highs and lows for me. As of late, I'm really in a good place as far as going to work, um, contributing to society, um, just being responsible as it regards that. Um, I want to take this time to also just give thanks to the Trans Justice Fund for the support that they gave me this summer in a grant. I was able to accomplish a lot of things, because of those funds. So many projects that I've been working on are able to be manifested, and I'm just happy that I'm in a place to be able to actually focus on it. So, I gotta say thank you to the Trans Justice Fund. Like they helped me look out for people that I care for, my daughter, my friends, like just to create a safe space for here and do what she need to do to start getting her life together. Like as much as I have been burned by the trans community, and as many times as I have felt, let down, and abandoned by the trans community, the work still has not stopped. I'm still doing the same, work in New York, but on a bigger scale, because now, I have the resources from my job to invest in the work that I'm doing. And every week I try to make it a ritual to meet up with my sisters and to spend time with them and just to talk and to build together. And so even when there's friction because we don't get along and we don't see eye to eye, that's one of the things that I like differently about being in New York. You see in Louisiana just how powerful colorism is. Colorism is so powerful in New Orleans that we kind of accept that if a person looks a certain way aesthetically, we just give them that grace, But up here, it's not like that. Like, people are gonna speak out, even though colorism is real here too, because you see it in the ballroom scene. You see how the ballroom scene is being run, and what's the face of the ballroom scene, and who are the most well-known names, and who really the most clout, and who really get the most. So I'm not gonna say that colorism isn't in New York, because you have the Dominicans and the Puerto Ricans. There's all that nuance that comes into the community, and we know that Dominicans and Puerto Ricans is nothing but black people that got a little bit more European in them. It's all black at the end of the day. But there's that nuance here that's not there. In New Orleans, it's mostly biracial, or Creole. You had some white people back up in your family back in the G, and that's the reason why a lot of y'all light skinned. So it's like a mulatto, but it's not so much that added layer when we start to get into the Latinx community that you have up here in New York. But what I like about New York is that it creates an environment where we feel more comfortable about being vocal about colorism. Like we can have a conversation about colorism, and it doesn't feel one-sided. It really feels like everybody is trying to hear everybody. We were in the park yesterday, and the conversation came up, and we were talking about colorism. And my daughter was the most light-skinned girl out there, and so there was a moment where she felt the way, but she took it really gracefully. Like, she took it really, really well, and she was able to hear it as the truth and receive it as the truth. And the thing about it is, back home in Louisiana, we would not have been able to have that conversation like that. I remember one time I was having a conversation with Diamond Styles, and this is not me being shady to Diamond, but we started talking about colorism, and Diamond kind of shut the conversation down. Like, as soon as the conversation started, it was like she wasn't really ready to have a conversation about the perception of light skin, in the black community. And that's a Southern thing. Like, we don't really want to get into that conversation. Like, we know colorism exists. We know that light-skinned girls, have a tendency to push through a little bit easier, even if they're not passable. Those girls might get a few more cookies and a few more grapes, and a few more scraps. But we're just not really comfortable with having that conversation in the South, and so it feels good to be in a space where we're able to have a mature and intelligent conversation about colorism, and it just not automatically be shut down because someone feels like their black card, or their Negro card, been called into question because of the shade of their melanin, you know, and like we have to be more mature than that. You know, we have to be able to hear, receive truth, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it's something that we don't want to hear. And so that's one of the things that I do like about my New York experience is being able to have being in a position to have conversations about colorism. And I don't know if it's just being in New York right now or if it's just that's the season that we're in. Like if we have just evolved that much and we've just gotten to a place to where now we're comfortable with having conversations about colorism. So I'm just really, really here for it. I've done a lot to myself, you know, as far as my transition. I got my breasts did, I got my hips did, you know, my behind is natural. All of this, you know, I've never had facial film or anything like that. Obviously, I still got that black person nose. But I did get my chin touched. And the crazy thing about it was when I got my chin touched, you couldn't even see the difference. But over the years, as gravity started to take hold, my chin started to round off a little bit more. But when I got it touched, I didn't want to get it touched. It was so funny. I was telling this story to somebody the other day. One of my girlfriends was getting her face done because we got work done at the same time. She got her boy dents filled and I got my boy dents filled, but she got her face hit. So when they were hitting her face, because we were spending a nice little bit of change with them, they threw in a shot for my chin. And the funny thing was I didn't even know that I needed to get my chin done because I really wasn't a girl that was looking for the things that made you look masculine or things that made you look feminine. Like my brain wasn't set up like that to look for this is what make you look masculine and this like angles, and I really wasn't into that. And I started to like the community started to get me into that, like paying attention to things like that because the community had this perception of what they thought femininity was supposed to look like, you know, based on what we saw on the silver screen in the movies. So anyway, there was the people who were pumping us were Caucasian, and you know, he threw in extra, you know, he did my chin for me. He did a little drop in my chin, and it was a drop. It was like one of them little, like a hormone shot, like a hormone shot worth of seal. You know, he put right in my chin. And me, I was young. I think I was like 23 years old. Like I hadn't even had my critical matter yet. And he was like, "You should get another little drop in your chin. You should get a drop in your chin." And I was like, I was so happy that I was getting something free from the silicone doctor. You know, I thought I was special, and I was like, you know, like I was just excited to be getting something free, and it really didn't register to me, you know, that I was making that big a difference to my face, you know. But one of the things that I've always been adamant about in my transition is not really changing my face. Like I really didn't want to change my face, and the reason why I didn't want to change my face is because when we look at like statues and, you know, how they is off the statues and how they changed, you know, how those images looked to keep their origin or to keep their negro, you know, to keep it hidden, they would break the noses off the statues. And so even though I felt the pressure from society to want to get a nose job, I've never gotten a nose job because of that. You know, I never got a nose job because I felt like my nose and my facial features were what helped my grandmother and my great grandmother and that's why when I do music and I talk about my great grandmother and my great grandfather, like my face is a way to show who my ancestors are. just wanted to look like my mom and dad. Right. So, I never wanted my facial features to look foreign to my family. I never wanted to go back home to my family and my family not be able to recognize me, or my family not be able to tell who I never wanted that. I understand girls who do. I understand why girls do it, because some girls and guys are traumatized. They're traumatized by the fact that they did not have a close relationship with their mother and father. They're traumatized by their relationships with their family, and so they really just kind of want a clean slate and to start over and to move on. But facial film has never been an option for me. I'm not gonna say that I haven't thought about it. I'm living in New York where all things are possible. If I want to go and get fresh titties, I can go and get fresh titties. If I want to go and get another vaginal surgery, I can go and get vaginal surgery. If I want to go and get liposuction, I can go and get liposuction. I'm in New York. Anything that I want to go and get done, laser, all of that, I can go and get it done. The insurance covers it. You know what I'm saying? So anything that I want to go and get done, I can go and get done. And I'm happy to say, since I've been in New York, I haven't had nothing done. I've been here on and off for 3 years, and I'm still the same girl I was when I got here. Because I'm happy, with my transition. Now, sometimes I think I feel most pressure to have my teeth straightened, to get straight teeth like that. That pressure do set in sometimes, wanting to be able to have a competing, but it's then that grounding part of me sets in, and I hear my grandmother, I hear my great grandma talking in my ear, and they be like, "Is it all your teeth? And can you chew food? Can you chew all your fruits and vegetables? Can you eat? Can you enjoy your meal? Are your teeth impeding you from enjoying your meal?" I hear them old folk in my spirit saying, "Can't do your food taste any different because your teeth is crooked? Do your food taste any different?" And then I'm okay. I go back to being okay, But I'm not gonna sit up here and lie and say that I don't never feel the pressure of that. And so, a lot has been going on with me recently. Aside, me and Empathy, we finished almost all 3 of the songs. I'm waiting on one more song for her. Then we're gonna release our EP. I'm really excited about this work. Finally, you know what I'm saying? Finally, I think that we have produced some music that is timeless, with original beats, that can go out, that can be out. We redid Clockiest. We revamped Clockiest. I think y'all gonna love the new Clockiest. The first time we did Clockiest, it was to In Your Head, the zombie beat. In your head, zombie. But we redid it, so now they have a more neo soul type vibe. It really sounds like more black. But and we did a song called it's a tribute to our mothers and our fathers. And we also did a song called Vultures, which is an a cappella rendition, which is dedicated to acknowledging things that have importance in the world, but we don't like to give them credit for the work they do. And that's how I often feel like a vulture. I do the work that needs to be done. I think can relate to that as well. We do the work that needs to be done, but we don't often get credit for the work that we do. So it's 3 songs on the EP. It's Vultures, it's Clockiest, which is dedicated to the LGBT community, and it's Becoming Purple, which is dedicated to everybody. Like, it's dedicated to honestly, I think that, cis people, heterosexual people can get something out of Clockiest, because Clockiest isn't just about, being clocked for being trans or being clocked for being queer. It's about, people trying to clock you for whatever it is that you're dealing with or whatever it is that you're struggling with. So if you have an abstract enough mind that you could see beyond what's in front of you, like, I definitely feel like Clocky is still has the potential to resonate with people who are outside of the community, although the song was, made for people in the community. With that being said, I'm also in the last chapter of the rough draft of my book. So I'm doing my final edit. I'm already working with a editing company. I already made the first down payment on professional editing, the first down payment on the editing package. Like, literally, I've already invested like $500 in the editing process, and I have hundreds more to go. But my first book, will be out by Christmas. And the reason why Christmas is the best time is because Laylim Layler will be 5 years old. Laylim Layler turns 5 on Christmas Day. And it's a perfect time to release a book. This book is not going to be like any other book that I've seen a Black trans woman write, And I have not been able to read all of their books. I've read chapters out of some books, but I wasn't really able to like follow the book all the way through, because I think that the book started becoming about pandering to your audience, like saying what people want to hear you say, and turning yourself into a sex object. Now, in this book, I could not avoid conversations about sex, but I don't go into a great detail about anything, because the book is except probably Laylim Layler. The book is a Bible. It's my own personal Bible. It's my own personal testimony, and so it's kind of written like the Bible. You know how the Bible tells you stories, but the Bible doesn't really go into detail. The Bible gives you like parables, and I protected certain people's names. I try not to make any villains in this book. I try not to make anybody the bad guy. If I did say negative things about them, I think I came back and I tried to redeem their character. So I didn't just leave them as like this evil entity. Like I spoke truth, but I tried to balance it by, rationalizing and understanding who they were. So the book is not if this book is written different than any other book I've seen written. And what it reminds me more than anything is like a modern personal Bible. So, this is my modern personal Bible. I'm good for dropping jewels. It's going to be a lot of quotes. It's going to be a lot of quotable moments. It's going to be a lot of things that resonate with you and fit with you and cause you to think deeper about life, about transition, about being feminine, about being queer, about being of color. Like, this book is that. Like, this book is gospel, and it's not everyone's gospel. It's my gospel. And so I'm sharing my gospel with other people. I'm sharing the gospel that I've experienced and the gospel that I've witnessed with others. So this book is a beautiful love letter to people who can relate, people who have shared this experience. So I'm excited that I'm finally in a place to release my first book. I think that a lot of little books can come out of this book because it's a lot of meat. You know, I'm almost certain that the editors are going to be like, well, can you flush this story out a little bit more, or can you develop this story a little bit more? No. Like I got one more chapter to go. I want to add some of my poems in there. I want to add some of my paintings, some of my pictures in there because I want it to be visual, kind of like the old Bibles used to be when they were putting all of their pictures in the Bible. Like I kind of wanted to give like that type of feel. It doesn't have like verses, like, and it doesn't have chapters. Each part is called a recollecting reflection, and so it's me recollecting, or it's me reflecting on something and recalling it, you know. And the same way my brain works, how I will take you way over here and over here just to make this point. So this book is definitely gonna be most beneficial to people who have been loyal to me, you know, since I started posting and since I started sharing the content. I think, you know, those are the people who will get the most out of this book. I'm not writing this book. You know, my social media, I tilt my hat to girls who have come on social media and made themselves on social media, who have used social media as an opportunity to gain wealth, who've turned this into a lucrative opportunity. I think for me personally, how I'm remembered is so important to me that I have not been able to focus on being the type of person who wanted to strategically monetize my existence on social media. I do appreciate a coin, but what I appreciate more than anything is being able to tell the truth as I see it, as I experience it, not so much trying to make people happy or trying to please people, but really to be authentic and speak the truth the way that I see it, because I know that I'm encouraging others to be able to do the same thing. And with that being done, I'm also expanding consciousness and expanding conversations, challenging us all and creating sanctuary for people who have not traditionally had sanctuary. And so, you know, through my vulnerability, I've been able to establish that. And so when I see myself as a martyr, I don't see myself as a martyr who is physically sacrificing their life for people, but I think that I have sacrificed great wealth. I have sacrificed a lot of things that I could have had if I had chose to be less authentic about my brand. If I had chose to just be a comedian for y'all, if I had chose to, you know, always be about making y'all laugh, or just always calling on the name of Jesus, like, I really honestly do think that I could have done a lot better financially, more lucratively, if I would have been more false and less real with my internet presence. But I could not have moved on to the next part of the journey. I know for me, that would have created possibly a wormhole that would have had me stuck here with y'all. I would not have been able to move on. And so I'm more concerned about being able to move on when I'm done with this body. When it's time for me to leave this body and it's time for me to move on to the next part of the journey, I don't want to be stuck here. So I try to live as authentically as I can, I try to speak as truthfully as I can, because what does it profit you to gain the world and lose your soul? You know what I'm saying? Like, I believe that. I sincerely in my heart feel that to be true. What good does it profit me to gain everything that this reality has to offer and lose who I am? So when you lose your soul, that means you lose who you are. That means you lose the core of your being, what you represent and what you stand for. And I am not I'm a simple person in a lot of ways, but I'm also a very complicated person, which brings me to the latest IT. So for like the past week, I've been dealing with this guy, and he learns differently. In school, he probably would have rode the short yellow bus. And I'm not saying this in no way, shape, form as a put down, because people who know me from Facebook, I talk about this all the time. Y'all know I've gotten a check, honey. And child, I got it most of my childhood. Then in about 2018, they cut it back on. Because I had I was going through a deep depression, and so they diagnosed me twice. When I was a child, they diagnosed me with gender identity disorder when I was 13 going on 14. Then when I was a couple of like a few years back, they diagnosed me as a manic depressant. So I would never judge anyone who processes information differently harshly, but I've been dealing with a guy who receives information differently, and sometimes he actually he gets caught up in like these memories, and he like, it's like he be living through them in real time. And I really honestly feel like I've been looking in a mirror, like I've been feeling that more and more so lately. Like I'm looking in a mirror, and I have a lot of compassion for him, but I also get frustrated with him because I think some of it is performance. I think I'm not gonna say that he isn't legitimately struggling with something or dealing with something, but like in New York, there's levels of being differently able. There's levels to it. So like he's not the type of person that will wear shoes and a cap and run outside and scream and holler at the sky. Like, it's not that level, but it's a level of, I will wear the same outfit for about 4 days in a row, and never musty, never stank, always clean, excellent hygiene. But I will, pose down and talk to myself and wear the same thing for about 3 or 4 days, and then all of a sudden I decide I want to put on a different outfit. And then when you're talking about something that I don't want to hear or something that I don't want to talk about, I'm just going to start talking about random stuff while you're talking, because I really don't want to entertain what you're saying. And so it almost gives me like slight performance. Like some of it is slight performance. And I find myself getting really aggravated with him as I get to know him more. Now, I'm not going to use too much of my sexual business, but the physical intimacy, I have not had anybody to make me feel the way that he's made me feel in a long time. Like I've had some good dick, I've had some good sex, but I don't know. It's just something about having sex with somebody who brain don't work like, who brain work differently. It's something about how well they understand the body. you know, and that's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. Um, I had to send him home this morning because I feel like I'm starting to be a little weak. You know, and it's the unfortunate part is that I think that when I have like, and this is not the first time this has happened. I think that for the most part, I think a lot of men behave better when you don't have sex with them. Like, like that part of courting you, and that part of wanting you, and that part of desiring you is what makes them attentive and thoughtful and to do little things to them. But then when you bust them holes open, when you let him run up in that mouth and run up in that cooch and run up in that booty, I've been letting him run up in all three holes. And when you let him run up and through you in all of those holes, and he released that, you know, that orgasm, he released that semen, he released that load, then all of a sudden it's shade. All of a sudden you know, like, not immediately. There is affection afterwards. There is hugs and cuddles and kissing afterwards, and thank you, baby, that was so good, that felt great. But then the next day it's a little bit of shade. And I'm finding this to be a pattern with me because, see, I'm like this. When we start having sex and the sex is good, I'm the type of girl, the type of person, the type of human being. If the love is good, I'm gonna keep wanting it. I'm gonna want it all the time. Like, you know, I can go months without having sex, but when I get some good sex that I really, really live for, oh honey, I want it all the time. And I can start. I think my cancer set in because, you know, I'm June 18th, so I'm cancer rising. So that cancer start getting clingy, and that cancer be wanting attention and affection, and cancer just want it all the time. And I have to learn how to turn that girl off because that's a sign of weakness for me. Like I have to be able to say, okay, yes, the sex is good. Yes, I'm enjoying this. Yes, this is wonderful. But you know what? I hate to play those types of games. And this is why I want a partner. You know, I was talking to my daughter about this rising, and I'm trying to get in a place of manifesting what I really want and being clear about what I really want. You know, like being really clear about what I really want. You know, and I want a partner. I'm not opposed to being with a female, but you know, that's not what's been coming to me. You know, what's been coming to me is men. You know, I had females to hit on me, but you know, when I be talking to females, like especially in New York, a lot of females be on this. You know, they still be like, females be grimier than niggas. Like in my experiences, like a lot of females be more grimier than niggas. Like the ones I be meeting, like they be on some grimy stuff. The ones that be attracted to me, they be grimy. You know what I'm saying? And they be the ones that give you the vibes like they'll set a nigga up. You know? And I said this before, like when I'm in love and when I'm happy, you know, you can't really put too much past me, you know. So in order not to tap into my most chaotic self, I think it's been kind of like beneficial to me to focus on my relationships with men because they don't take me there. You know, they don't take me there. Like I just feel like if I was with a female, it would really take me to that place to where I would become this monster that the world have not seen yet. And so I think that it's been the ancestors kind of like shielding me from, from the dark goddess, shielding me from the chaos, from the goddess of chaos, the goddess of discord. Like I think that's what that's been about. Like keeping that storm back, And so that's why I have not really like tried hard to pursue my relationships with females, because I know what I'm capable of, and if I'm with them just ride or die, hit, and I'm just really, um, just really head over heels. Hey, Fatima, that I'm really just head over heels for. I don't know give. I don't know what I might give. I don't know what I might be capable of. And so dating men has been safe for me. It's been safe. I default to men because it's safe. But I'm attracted to females. I really am. Like, it was one that was coming to my job that I knew her before the job started. I really like her. And we really cool with each other. Like, we call each other baby mama. Like, we became like more like girlfriends than actual, like lovers. Like, and then, but at first I wanted to sleep with her. I wanted to be with her physically. She a Leo. I'm compatible with Leos. But, she young, like she even 26 years old. So, where that would have went. So, yeah, so I'm just like, men are safe for me. I'm just gonna go ahead and keep it real. Men is like a safe space. It's like a default. It's a default relationship. So, when I'm manifesting relationships with men, like now I'm in this comfortable with my status. I've gotten really comfortable with talking about my status. Just like when I first met him, I told him the first night, I explained, like I was giving him, one, like explaining to him how the coochie work, what happens when you have vaginal sex, what happens when you have anal sex, explaining to him about being untransmittable, equals being undetectable. Like, hey Evelyn, like, is that that look like my baby with this beat ass red lip on. Choco mom. But yeah, so like I explained to him, because like now, in October I'll be coming up on 19 years, living with a positive status. Next year will be 20 years I've been living with a positive status. And at this point, it doesn't make any sense to be ashamed about it. Like, it's just a part of who I am. It's a part of my testimony. It's a part of my struggle. It's a part of what has helped me to become who I am. HIV has been a teacher. HIV has taught me. It's taught me how the world views people who deal with a dis-ease. It's taught me about stigma. It's taught me about it's taught me mindful about the things that I participate in, like not having too many sexual partners, not going crazy with drugs and alcohol, like pulling me in. Like, HIV has been my anchor in a lot of ways, because a girl could have expired a lot sooner. I know girls who was HIV negative, and those girls, those girls didn't have that anchor, honey. Those girls didn't have that anchor, honey, and those girls self-destructed. So I'm not saying go out and get HIV. I'm just saying that's an anchor for me. HIV was like, girl, slow down. Girl, you doing too much. Girl, you're moving too fast. Girl, you're a little reckless. Girl, you're a little sloppy. Come over here and sit down. Girl, no ma'am, girl. Let them do that with their HIV negative selves, girl. Let them be risky. Let them go cut up. Let them be wild. Girl, you have a status, girl. Girl, you have some stuff going on with you, girl. Not only do you have a status, girl, but you're also a sex change, girl. Meaning you have a lot of stuff, girl, that you need to be running this fast and this hard and giving all this. Ma'am, I'm gonna need you to have several seats, ma'am. Matter of fact, just go ahead and lay down. Matter of fact, just take you a little nap. Get your little rest. Now you can sit back up. That's what that girl told me. So, I don't look at HIV the same way that I used to look at it. I don't look at it as a punishment. I still think it's a little bit of a curse. But I think that it has definitely saved me in some ways. It has definitely grounded me in a lot of ways. It's definitely helped me to relate to people who struggle with dis-ease, who struggle with being differently abled. It's definitely helped me in that area. And as I was saying, like looking in this mirror with him, I look at how society has ostracized me in the past for my for my wholeness, for my lay limb lay learnness, for my queerness. Like I look at how society has ostracized me, and I've had to blend in and pretend to be somewhat normal in order to navigate society. And I feel like, I've witnessed him doing the same thing, hiding his quirkiness, hiding his oddness. And it's so funny. I was talking to another guy earlier this year who I spent time with in Atlanta. And he was telling me about, he's quirky, he's odd, he does strange things, and he feels like he has to hide that. And I feel like society, forces us to hide a little bit of who we are in order to be accepted. And so I'm just happy to be in this place to where I love me. I love me today. I love everything about me. I love being HIV positive. I love being black. I love being trans. I love, my fat on my body. Do I want to have to deal with all of it for the rest of my life? No. But I can still love it. I can still love myself. Like loving being HIV positive doesn't mean that I want to be HIV positive forever. It just means that I've learned to accept and embrace and celebrate myself as I am, flaws and all, perceivable flaws, because everything that we go through in our life is meant to teach us. We're meant to learn from it, and so I'm thankful for depth, for the depth and the understanding that being HIV positive has brought me. I'm thankful for the perspective. I'm thankful that I'm thankful that I'm just not in this space in my life anymore where I don't look at myself as being better than someone else. I just see myself as different, and that's what I notice goes on a lot in our community. Like we're always looking for the bigger, better deal. We're always looking for the upgraded model. We're always looking for, like, I'm even triggered by the term sometimes saying higher consciousness or higher understanding. No, different. Different. I'm just different. I'm just not like you. I'm just different. And I should be. But we have to understand that our differences are these tools that we have to help each other, to learn from each other. We allow our differences to divide us when it is our differences that should unite us and bring us together and help us to become like this Voltron. Or you know how the Power Rangers all join together and they're different colors and they serve different purposes and they come together to become this powerful entity. The same thing with a Voltron. There are all these different things that come together to form this one magnificent entity that has the capacity to do these amazing things. And so instead of allowing our differences to divide us, we should allow our differences to bring us together. It's just like making a gumbo. You don't make a gumbo using the same ingredients. That's not gumbo. That's fondue. That's cheese. Butter melted cheese. Gumbo requires a whole bunch of different seasonings, a whole bunch of different type of meats, a whole bunch of different type of entities that come together collectively to become this gumbo. And so I'm ready to make those types of connections and those types of relationships and to build and cultivate the type of relationships with people who see my difference, respect my difference, understand my difference, and celebrate my difference because they see how it's necessary. They understand that I'm shaped differently and made differently and molded differently, but that doesn't mean that I can't connect with your difference. It's like a puzzle. Puzzle pieces aren't all shaped the same. They're made different, but they still fit together. So, that's just the season of my life that I'm coming into. I didn't want to be lengthy with this video, but I did need to get some things off my chest because I've been dealing with a lot. I feel like a lot of people expect from me, but not ask for what I need back from them. It's lackluster. It's lackluster. Like, I supported so many people and helped so many people and sold into so many people. And then when I ask for something back, I get called, names, I get put down, I just get so much, and it's so crazy. It's like, I don't know. I think and I hate to say this, I think sometimes if I was a light-skinned girl, a light-skinned petite girl, and I had the same brain and the same personality that I had, I think the world would be a lot more receptive to me. But I think it's hard to take me. I think it's just hard to take me because, girl, you still got crooked teeth, girl. You're HIV positive. It's like Mr. told Celie in Color Purple. It was, I feel like Celie in The Color Purple a lot of times. You're poor, you're black, you're ugly, who don't want you? Like that's how society tries to treat me. Like, who wants you? And it's like trying to overcome that. It's like trying to come out of that silly narrative that I feel like I'm constantly pushed into. And in order to escape the narrative, you're required to conform. I think for black, deeply melanated, curvy, feminine beings who identify with the construct of womanhood, I think there's a greater requirement to conform. I think that for people who don't fall into that box, because it's a hierarchy, men automatically get a little bit of a pass. And then if you're light-skinned and skinny, you get a little bit more freedom, a little bit more flexibility because this society was designed to center lighter, thinner beings. And so when you're dark and kinky hair and curvy and you're all of these things that this society was not designed to accommodate, much less center. There's more of a requirement of you to perform in the ways of the colonizer. There's more of a requirement for you to really, really like monitor your speech, monitor your dress, monitor your communication, monitor how you maneuver and how you navigate society. And it's sad. It's sad. And I'm telling you something. I am going to be rebelling against that until the last breath leaves this. Probably not as much as I have rebelled in the past, because I've calmed down with age. But I'm definitely never going to submit totally to the expectations of this society, because I see the flaws in supporting it. I see the flaws in surrendering to it. I'm going to compromise for the sake of the art and, impacting someone who will be less compromising, because that's how the torch gets passed. But girl, when you don't compromise, also don't be someone who refuses to compromise, but at the same time you're constantly self-sabotaging. And see, that's something that I had to overcome. I had to stop self-sabotaging myself. I had to learn to decide, okay, I'm going to accept this, I'm not going to accept this, I'm going to do this, I'm not going to do that, but I'm not going to self-sabotage myself. If there's a project that I want to do, I'm not going to sit here and figure what the outcome is going to be. I'm going to go ahead and do it and put it out there, and stand 10 toes down. I'm going to try to do, I'm going to seek and attempt to do the project with as much authenticity and best intentions or good intentions as possible. But I'm not going to continue to let my disdain or my issues with how society is structured to hold my creativity hostage and just say, you know what, I'm not gonna put anything out. I'm not gonna give this world anything that's tangible beyond a song. Like I refuse to bring biological children here. I did not bring biological children here, and for that I'm so grateful. I'm so thankful. I would love to help y'all with yours, but I feel like every price that we pay, like monkeypox and COVID-19 and all of these different diseases that keep popping up, it is a result of this constant procreating on this plane. Like, I think that that we've divided way too much. I think that the more we divide, the more sickness comes. The more we divide ourselves from source, the more sickness comes. And for that, I'm grateful that I not bring children here. But just because I'm not bringing any biological children here does not mean that I cannot leave a document or a record of my existence that other beings who are on the path. I'm not going to be that bitter. I'm not going to be that selfish. I'm not going to be that self-sabotaging. And so that, getting to this place of having the discipline to focus on, trusting where you are, trusting what you have to say, being able to talk to editors, managers, people who are working with you in a way that does not diminish your worth. Like when you step into a room, like Maya Angelou said, as calm as you please. So like I'm in this place in my life where coming into the room and I know that, you know, I'm being authentic, I'm being genuine, I'm being sincere. I have intentions on impacting the next generation of not just of not so much liberators, but mental liberators. You know, people who have the beings who have the capacity to help us to continue this journey of mentally liberating ourselves. And when we are liberating, I hope that that liberation draws us closer together instead of dividing us and pulling us further apart. I hope that the liberation frees us to celebrate community just as it is, a man, a woman. And so that's what this work is about for me. It's not shallow. It's not materialistic. It's not about monetary gain. But I do want some coins, and I've been very clear about why I want coins. I want my own piece of land so I can go mind my business and let the world do what the world do. I don't need to be in y'all face for the rest of my life. I don't want to live in New York forever. New York is too busy. It's too much going on. But I'm learning from it. So I'm thankful for this season. I don't regret it. Like I'm thankful for this season in my life, but this is not my home. I'm at peace in quiet and nature. I have a tremendous amount of peace. But for right now, it is what it is. I'm learning. I'm evolving. Figuring out the truth for myself, you know, and so I want to document that, and I'm very proud of this testimony that I have written. Right now, I'm over 40,000 characters. You know, and I said after I finish this live, I'm gonna go and start working on the last recollection and reflection. I wrote it last year and I had to put it down because it brought up so much for me emotionally. It brought up so much for me. Like I'm going back and, you know, journaling the highlights of my existence and talking about my life and talking about it. Each recollection is vulnerable. Each recollection is me being vulnerable, and it's me being honest, and it's me being sincere. And so when I wrote it last year, I tried to give it to my sister to edit it, but she had a lot going on. She was getting ready to have her sex change and stuff too. So, you know, she thought she was gonna be able to do it, but she was like, nah, I'm not gonna be able to do it. So she handed it back to me, and so I had to edit it myself. And so I wrote it, and then I had to read it again. So I've read it. I think I would say that I've read it probably 3 times. And it brings something up in me and out of me every time, you know, I have to go over it. It's like reading the Bible. It's like my own Bible. And so it brings a lot up for me. So this has been a labor, you know, of love and soul searching, you know, and I'm just so thankful just to be in this place, you know, just so thankful to be in this place where I am, you know, just anchored and fixed and stable. That I've sat still in a minute, you know. I've been living in this apartment now for a year. I have not been away from my apartment longer than 2 weeks. Yeah, I have not been away from my apartment longer than 2 weeks, and that's not normal for me. Because if I'm in a place, I'm gonna leave and go for about a month. You know, I'm gonna leave and go for a couple of months. You know, but I've been in the same apartment for a year now. I got another year to go before my lease is up, and I'm just hoping that, you know, something else amazing will happen. The Justice Fund really blessed me. I got the largest grant that I ever received from a grant from a grant opportunity. I got and that was just so nurturing to me. And I was at this place where I was like, I'm not taking no more money from this community. Like I was so messed up about and messed up about the trans community. I was like, I'm not taking no more money from the trans community. And I had to check my own self. I was like, girl, this is like you have been on the battlefield and your vagina is your Purple Heart, Miss Thing. You've been out here doing this. Like you opened doors for so many. You've helped like get your inheritance. You snap out of it. To where I get to the point to where I'm like, I'll sabotage myself. Well, I get to the point where I'll kind of sabotage myself and spite myself. And no, I'm not doing that anymore. I'm not no more. Like I don't have to get out here and tap dance and and be a drag queen for y'all and compromise. But if an opportunity comes for me to get a bag, I'ma get it. And it doesn't require me to do anything that makes me feel like I'm compromising my integrity. Because even when I was out there turning tricks, getting high, that was where I was. That was my choice. That was where I was. And when it stopped feeling real for me, I stopped doing it. I'm not a girl who likes to do sex work. I don't like using men in that way because I don't want to be in relationships with men who think that they're superior to me. And I think that when men are the breadwinners, that's typically the mentality that they have. That somehow they're superior to you, somehow you need them. I don't want that type of relationship. I want to be in a relationship with someone who respects me as their equal, someone who sees the value in the work that I do, who sees who's not trying to come in and take over, but trying to play a supportive role, and someone who shares the same ideas and the same vision that I have. And so, no, sex work does not work for me because sex work to me is like saying, okay, massa, I have to get into it. I just, no. It's sex work to me is, in a lot of ways, sex work is liberating because sex work provides an opportunity for us to be our own bosses and make our own money. So I'm not condemning sex work. I'm just saying for me, sex work is not empowering because a lot of times when I have engaged in sex work, it has not been with people who saw me as their equal. That has not been my experience. I have not had a lot of healthy experiences in sex work. Like the most beautiful times I had sex work were those times where the men didn't want sex from me because it was in those moments that I saw that it really wasn't about my body, it was about my mind. Like those were the eye-opening times for me, was when I was with those guys that I dated and they didn't want to have sex with me at all. Those are the instances that I think I value the most in my experience as a sex worker. Like guys who did not want to have sex with me. And so the guys who did want to have sex with me, I just felt like they saw me as a sex object They didn't care about my art. They didn't care about, how I felt. They didn't care about my thought process. They didn't see me as a equal. They didn't view me in that way. And so for me, sex paid, I'll be honest with you, when I was younger, loving a coin from a man. Like, getting a coin from a man was the answer, because I was like, he not gonna bring me home to his mama. He can't marry me. It's not legally possible. So hey, give me a coin. Getting a coin was the standard for me when I was in my 20s. But now times have changed. You can legally get married. You can go home to meet the mama. And you will never go home to meet the mama. And you will never be that standard girl. You will never be the wife and be the girl that goes home to meet mama if you don't start to value yourself in a way that says, hey, I'm more valuable than my body. So it's one thing to engage in sex work as a tool to elevate your craft, to elevate your business, to elevate whatever you're trying to do for yourself. It's one thing to use sex work as a tool, but it's another thing to think that your ability to make money through the act of sex with guys is what makes you special. See, when I got castrated, when I had my orchiectomy, I knew that I was going to lose the men. I knew that I was not going to be looked at as that black girl that could dick down. I knew that I wasn't going to, I knew that I was going to lose an audience. I knew that my relationships with men were going to change. I knew it. And I was ready for it. I wanted it. Girls will tell you all the time, I don't know why you getting a sex change. They won't dick. The boys won't dick. Why you? I don't want the boys that won't dick. I don't want boys that need dick. Let me say it like that, because I don't mind if he like a little dick every now and then, because we could strap on. Strap on, baby. But I don't mind if he need a little punt. I don't mind if he need a little poke every now and then. But when he centers it, it might be a problem. It might be a problem. So, I think that's pretty much all I wanted to give on this live. Let me let y'all hear a taste of one of the songs that I've been working on with the good empathy. I'm not going to play all of them, but I'm going to play like a little piece of both of them. This song is dedicated to our ancestors, both cis and transgender non-conforming. If those labels don't fit, we honor you. Those of you who came from the past, those of you who are here present, and those of you who are coming, we love you. I need another hormone shot. Hurry up, quick, another hormone pill. Pay what you and get off with it. I need another hormone shot. Hurry up, quick, another pill. Pay what you and get off with it. Cause I don't wanna feel. Cause I don't wanna feel. Cause I don't wanna feel. Like a man in my head, yeah. So that's a little bit of clocky, so y'all could get into the little beat and the little vibe. I'm really, 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 really excited about. I'm really, really excited about it. It's a tribute to the community. Like, the song is so beautiful, and we had one of the biggest arguments that we've had since she been here, and we almost didn't make it to the studio. And this is what I'm talking about, self-sabotage. And so, like, I had to pull back, and, because I'm not gonna lie, like, I do feel like it's time for us to take a season. It's time for us to take a breather, because my apartment is small. I've been seeing somebody for the past week, because I have needs too. I have desires and urges. For that, I'm not apologizing. But and trying to set boundaries and trying to function in this small space. And then all three of us Gemini. Here Gemini, here Gemini, I'm a Gemini. So it's going on. So it's just been a lot going on. And I'm ready for space. And I think she is too. I think going to the next phase as well. I think she's ready to do something different. I think she's ready for a new season too. So it's not just me. But yeah, it's after 3 days. Well, child, she been here a month and a half. And we did good. Like, we did good. Like, girls can't really be around each other that long. Girls be needing their space. So, and empathy is in a whole different space in her. She's in a whole different space. She's 14 years younger than me, so she's in a whole different space than I am. I'm getting a little bit more set in my ways, a little bit more old fashioned. I like a little bit more order and structure, and empathy is, still in that free spirit. I'm kind of all over the place mentality, and I think that rubs me the wrong way. And I think that my need for as much structure and as much order and control that I need to have, I think that rubs her the wrong way. So, like, now we're starting to clash a little bit more than we used to. When she first got here, it was cute. But I didn't think that, honestly, the last time we were around each other, we got into a big argument. And so we hadn't physically seen each other since the last big fallout. And so for us to really just like put that behind us, and for us to be able to commit as long as we have, I think it's been amazing. I think it shows growth on both of our parts. And I think it shows that we were really committed to doing this work for Layla and for intentional flow. I think, and for ourselves, amen, and woman. So I really just think that, I'm really happy that we were able to be consistent and that we were able to follow through and move through this project. This is the other one, and I'm going to let y'all hear the end. Ready to ride. When the real mama come through. When the real mama come through. When the real mama come through. Thank you, Father. Thank you, Father. Oh, yeah. I'm down to ride. We're down to ride for you. That's all we want to do. If you take your father, we are all here to exist and be one So let's get us. Lena. I'm down to love you. That's all we wanna do. Thank you, Mother. Thank you, Father. Made me whole. Yeah, so the first clock is I ain't gonna lie, it kinda like it gives me like a no weapon for trans people. Like it gives me like a no weapon for gender non. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. It won't work. Yeah, it gives me, like Clocky is give me just like a no weapon for us. Like Clocky is give me no weapon. Like when y'all hear the whole song when it's streaming, the name of the EP is going to be called The Purple Print. So, Jay-Z had the blueprint. Nicki Minaj had the pink print. And so, because we're becoming purple, we're becoming whole, our mothers and our fathers, amen, women. This EP is going to be called The Purple Print. And so it's just a beautiful tribute, to wholeness. Acknowledging, and then we chose it to be 3 because 3 songs representing the Trinity, past, present, and future. And so the first one is a cappella. Both of the beats actually came from South Africa, their original beats. And it's really gospel-y, it's really giving you but it's sexy at the same time. Like it's sexy, but I make it gospel-y. And so it's really like a fulfillment of a lot of the things that I talked about when I first started doing the work on this platform over 10 years ago. New Legacy is the place where sexuality and spirituality become one. And so you really can hear that in the beat of the song, like, just like the beats, like it's sexy, like, because we actually was just, like, you could see all type of like rolling and rocking and gyrating while you're talking about your relationship with your mother and father, who come together through the act of sexual relations to create you, because sex is a creation dance. Okay, you can create chaos, you can create disease, you can create offspring, but sex you can create. Doesn't matter if you have the opposite sex parts, you can still create something between each other. And so it's a creation dance. And it takes that masculine and feminine energy to create. No matter what the physical vessels are, that energy is still in the midst, honey. I guarantee you, it could be 2 hard looking men coming together, but baby, what attracted them to each other is what they saw in one another. The energies that they saw in one another, a man, a woman. And so that's what this music is about. This music is about celebrating the hidden, celebrating the secret, that secret us, that secret self, that hidden part, a man, a woman. And so Vultures, Clockiest, and Becoming Purple, is a tribute to that. So, be looking for that soon. It's gonna be out soon, really, really soon. Yeah. And in the meantime, I'm gonna be working on my book and getting that out, by Christmas. It was supposed to be out by Christmas of last year, but hey, better late than never, right? Anyway, I love y'all. Down that I say cool, keep spinning and turning. Iangani, Iyanko Kalukalo, which means I am a child of God Goddess. And if I am, you are. This candle represents past, present, and future. As I blow out this candle on a physical plane, it grows with that much intensity and purpose on the physical plane, on the spiritual plane. And this candle acknowledges all of our ancestors who have come, who are here, and who are coming. Amen. They woman. They lim. Love y'all. Later.